Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please consider liking and subscribing. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, so, feeling a bit nostalgic these days. Why not? Let me set this up. Back in the day of RTE television, which is basically, you know, the BBC of Ireland, we had GARDA Patrol, which is our police. It's kind of like Crime Line. It's kind of like Crime Watch. Like, you know, it was one of the most popular TV shows on TV back in the 80s, 90s growing up. I remember it growing up. My dad used to love it. And there was lots of, you know, skits done of it and stuff. So a channel called TV Classics Ireland put this up. You can go over to them and like and subscribe to them. So I haven't pre-watched this. I have no idea what's going to happen. But the show kind of still going today. You know, you've Crime Line, all them kind of shows where, you know, there'll be a presenter and they'll tell you that a crime has been committed, and then a police officer or a Garda Síochána in this situation will come on and you know, they'll tell you what happens, and then there'll be reenactments and stuff. I don't know if there's any reenactments in this, but she'll see what happens. I don't know if if thing's gonna get copyright. Hopefully it won't get copyright. 42. I should say back in like the 80s, Ireland only had 2 TV stations. If you lived up in the like north of Ireland, you would have BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, Channel 4, RT1 and RT2. So I lived near the border, so I was lucky enough to get them channels. If you live south of Ireland, not so much. But anyway, you kind of only had 2 channels. Which kind of... So that's the Garda Síochána symbol. They're still going to use that. Oh my god. State-of-the-art technology. There's a diver. What is going on? They're rescuing people. They've got the dogs out. There's a lot to unpack on that package, but it was good. For 1986, that was a pretty good intro. Kind of a lot going on there.
Bob Geldof has been in the news a lot lately, and it looks like he will continue to be for some time. After his hugely successful Live Aid concert, he's now running Sports Aid, which will be coming next weekend, will include a race against time in 120 cities throughout the world. Now, if you're wondering why we're plugging Sports Aid on Garda Patrol, that's because thousands of runners are expected to participate in the Dublin race against time in the Phoenix Park next Sunday. We want to ensure that everything runs smoothly without traffic congestion and that everyone has a good time.
I've never heard of that. That's crazy. I've never heard of Sports Aid. Huh, there you go.
So if you're planning to run in the event, or if for whatever reason you might be in the Phoenix Park area next Sunday, take a note of these details.
The racing starts at 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, but from 10 o'clock until 6:30 the main road in the Phoenix Park will be closed to traffic. That's the section of road from the Gough Cross to Mountjoy Cross.
You can see that that's just somebody with their mouse moving it up. But the graphics are kind of like very basic. But yeah, it's fun.
White's Gate and Knockmaroon Gate will also be closed to traffic during the same period. Chapel Gate will be open only to visitors to St Mary's Hospital. Island Bridge Gate will be open, but traffic will have to turn right after entering the park. However, if you intend visiting the zoo, you'll be glad to know that it will be open for business as usual, and you should be able to find parking space without too much difficulty. Elsewhere, parking facilities...
the zoo in Ireland is crazy because it is in the middle of, this big park, and there are wild, like, deer running around and stuff. Like, it's crazy.
These will be provided for race
Brilliant.
participants and spectators, but there will be major parking restrictions. So please follow the directions of Gardaí and stewards.
The best advice we can give anyone planning to attend the race against time is to go early. It will be a family day out and we hope everyone will enjoy themselves. Now some recent crimes, starting with an armed raid in Sandymount in Dublin.
Okay, here we go. Here's what we're talking about. Here's the classic, signage and cars and everything. Here we go.
Last Friday.
At 8:30 last Friday evening, 2 security officers were transferring money from H. Williams supermarket to a security van when they were held up by 2 men. The raiders made off with the cash box along Marine Drive and onto Strand Road in the direction of Merrion Gates. They were in a red Toyota Corolla hatch.
I like the old lampposts. Look like a question mark. Like, yeah, that's funny.
Back driven by
There's a beetle there. Cool.
a third man.
There's
The number of
Lada. Oh my god, there's Ladas and everything. Oh god.
car, which had been stolen from
There's another
Burlington Road
beetle.
earlier in the day, was SI 8972. The car was later found abandoned behind a house in Sydney Parade Avenue.
Now that's old school number plates. Now we have like the year, the county, and then the number it was registered. So the year would be like 07, or 97. But then in 2013, because people were superstitious with 13, they put in 131 and then 132. So 131 was for like January to June, and then 132 was from July to December. So, and they still do that. They still do that now.
Sandymount, minus the cash. It's believed the raiders ran from here onto the railway line.
We're looking for witnesses to the raid itself. The time 8:30 last Friday evening. We're also hoping someone may have seen the raiders abandon the red Toyota near the railway line at Sydney Parade Avenue. Information please to the Gardaí at Irishtown. To Enniscorthy now, where armed men snatched wages contained in a black attaché case from a staff member of a flour mills at St. John's. The incident happened at 10:30 last Thursday morning.
It just reminds me of that scene from Groundhog Day, where Bill Murray steals the money out of the back of the van from the 2 little boys without them even noticing. But this used to happen a lot back in the day, and it's
Afterwards, the raiders made off in a stolen blue Fiat Ferrari, registration number IZN 376. At the time of the raid, it read simply ZN 76.
The car travelled towards Wexford on the Bournemouth Road. They crossed Edermine Bridge and then crossed the main Enniscorthy-Wexford Road. Here they almost collided with a cream-coloured Mazda or Rover car which was travelling towards Enniscorthy from Wexford at about 10 minutes to 11. From there the raiders took another back road to the rear of Brownswood Hospital. They abandoned the car at Vinegar Hill. One of the raiders ran across fields towards Enniscorthy. The other 2 went towards Drumgold or the Clonhassan or Ballinabarney direction.
We're anxious to speak to anyone who saw the raiders after they abandoned the car at Vinegar Hill. We also want
Vinegar Hill. I mean, so I don't know how to translate that because it's just there are just weird names in Ireland. Yeah. So it's just the way it is.
to talk to anyone who might have seen them sitting in the car at Abbey Square on Mill Park Road in Enniscorthy before the raid last Thursday morning. If you think you can help, contact the Gardaí at Enniscorthy. And last Monday afternoon, there was a raid on the Bank of Ireland at Drimna Road, Dublin.
It happened at 2:30 in the afternoon. The 2 young raiders who
They're I shouldn't laugh because this happened in my local Bank of Ireland just a few years ago. People robbed it. They're always robbing the Bank of Ireland. It's crazy.
were masked and
Even back
armed,
then
made
they
off in
were-
a black Golf GTI, number 174WZO.
It was a classic Golf. No, they ripped off Oh, is it still on it? No, I think they ripped it off. Because back in the 80s, Wasn't there a rapper that had like the VW thing around his neck, and then kids were going around just robbing them, it's like just so that they could wear it. Oh jeez, but that is a cool. Like the old school, the 1980s Golfs were cool. They were rally cars.
This car had been stolen from Turrenure. The raiders drove along Walkinstown Road and abandoned the car at Parnell Road.
If you think you can help our investigations, contact the Gardaí at Crumlin. And bank drafts were stolen in a raid on the Ulster Bank at Croom last Friday.
Ulster Bank.
Some of the drafts were in Irish.
The Ulster Bank's gone out of Ireland now. Isn't that West? Yeah. NatWest was like the parent bank, and then they had Ulster Bank all over Ireland. There was an Ulster Bank in my hometown, and they just decided to pull out. It's unreal. Yeah.
Pounds, the others in sterling.
And what happened with the Ulster Bank was they actually used to have army, like soldiers, rock up in a truck and to do the money transfer. So there'd be 3 trucks all together. There'd be 2 army trucks, and then the truck in the middle would be the bank truck with the money in it. And I was in it one time, like I was queuing up to do stuff, and all of a sudden all the doors just locked, and the army came in, and the boys came in with the bags, and then they left, and then the army left, and then that was it. Nobody was allowed in or out where this was happening, and they had big machine guns with them and everything. It was crazy. But yeah, but that doesn't happen really anymore.
Sterling. The Irish pound drafts bore the serial numbers 102084 to 102100. The first 3 in that series, those ending in 84, 85 and 86, have been signed. The sterling drafts bore the serial numbers 577007 to 577100 inclusive. In this instance, the first 2 drafts in the series have been signed.
If those bank drafts come your way, get on to the Gardaí at Askeaton.
6 antique rosewood chairs like this were stolen from a house in Old Bawn Road, Talla, recently. They have carved legs and backs, and the seats were finished with red and green velvet. An antique walnut bookcase and 2 pairs of earrings were also taken from the house.
Information placed to the Gardaí at Talla.
A jeweller shop in the Ilac Centre in Dublin was raided.
The Ilac Centre in Dublin, that's still there. This sign, that's such cool signage. That's gone now, obviously. The signs I have now aren't really that great. That is such cool signage. I wish they'd bring that back. That's lovely, actually.
Last Friday, and a quantity of rings were taken. These pictures are of rings similar to those taken. They include a 9-carat gold solitaire ring.
So I guess we're not getting any reenactments, which is kind of sad. I guess that came in the 90s.
A 9-carat 2-stone twist ring, a 9-carat sapphire and diamond ring. And
I'm just going to scroll on here. Hang on. Okay, so this is the most like Irish thing in the world. 11 cows have been stolen.
These were taken from a shed at Afarrell, British, County Dublin recently. The Gardaí at Blessington are investigating.
11 milkers! They stole 11 milkers!
And a caravan like this has been taken from a car park near Ballydoon, County Sligo. It's a Piper Clubman 15-foot caravan, off-white with a tan stripe and windows of tinted glass. It contained an outboard engine, fishing rods and sleeping bags. Information to Ballyfarnan Garda in County Roscommon.
Oh Lord.
And a 22-foot Roadmaster caravan like this was stolen from Crumlech Caravan Park, Killiney, County Dublin recently. The Gardaí at Shankill.
I had to skip it on a bit because there were like naked cherub statues, and I didn't want to kind of have that on my channel. Sorry.
Investigating.
A Rototool tube and surface descaling machine like this was stolen from a shed at St James's Hospital in Dublin within the past 2 weeks.
Who cares?
The Gardaí at Kilmainham would like to know where it is now.
And the detectives at the Bridewell in Dublin hope our viewers can identify some property which has come their way.
These 2 clocks. On the left, a wooden wall clock made in New York. On the right, a marble clock surmounted by a gilded swallow and nest made in France.
And this boozy and hawk's trumpet in a black case can be collected at the Bridewell by its owner. It was originally bought in McCullough Piggott's. They also have this Securicheck burglar alarm control box with keys and a Pioneer cassette and amplifier with 2 speakers. The amplifier
Oh, look at that old school cassette tape player.
is model GM120.
Still at the Bridewell, a Philips car radio cassette with quartz tuning and a Pioneer radio cassette.
Because that was the thing back in the day. There was literally a handle in front of these radios, right? And you could literally just pull it out. Like, I remember my dad had a couple of cars like that where you could just literally pull it. So they were always being stolen. Like, they would just break the window and pull it out and then sell it. It's just, and then probably sell it back to the people they stole it from. Like, I don't know. They would sell it in the market, like, you know, just.
And a blue and white Yamaha motorcycle with a black frame. It's a model RD350 and the seat and tank colour may have been changed.
And that's all from Garda Patrol for this week. Until next Thursday, Ihawa Agus Lán.
Saw that. So that was like 1980s Garda Patrol. So this is 1990s Garda Patrol. Oh, science! Still the divers are still there.
Séhbhór Mahagus bhúr céad fáilte
The update of the graphics.
Piclar and Tróna Shaw. Good evening and welcome. I suppose we should start our programme every week by saying, can you help us? We are of course seeking information about crimes committed up and down the country.
I hope we can help you.
Some of the crimes were witnessed, others were not. There is always the possibility that viewers can help solve some of the crimes. So stay with us and see if you can help. We start with a number of robberies in the Dublin area.
At about 1 o'clock last Friday afternoon, 3 or 4 men forced their way into the waterfront nightclub and restaurant in Sir John Rogerson's Quay. They demanded money, took the cash float and tied up a member of the staff in a storeroom before leaving.
What?
One of the men was aged about 50. He was about 6 feet 1 in height, 15 to 16 stone weight. He had grey hair cut short with patches of black. He had a thick neck, prominent cheekbones and wore 1mm, 80mm and 50mm lenses.
I skipped it along just to see if there was any interesting stuff.
Was stolen in a burglary at Walled Garden, Selbridge on Monday the 22nd of July.
That's a cool
The camera is marked in indelible ink with the number 130686.
Again, anyone offered this camera for sale or has any information on its whereabouts should contact the Gardaí at Selbridge.
Swimsuits were among
my
women's
God.
clothing stolen from an industrial estate in Clondalkin area between 9 o'clock last Thursday evening and 8:30 the following morning. They were in sizes 10 to 12, 14 to 16 and 18 to 20. They were in crushed lycra, orange and black and green and black and pink. Also taken were bus swimsuits and full swimsuits in black with green, pink and orange on both sides. Also a
They're
black
not the best looking swimsuits, are they?
leisure suit consisting of black shorts
I suppose they were very popular back
and
in
top
the 80s.
in crushed
90s.
lycra. Lycra
Ooh la la.
bodysuits in white and black, sizes 10 to 12 and 4.
So they just showed a bunch of women in underwear there. Like there was 10 different women and it was just obviously from the catalogue, but they obviously stole a bunch of women's underwear as well. These would just go straight on the black market. Like they would go just go to local markets. Like, you know, every Sunday there's a local market and the big towns, and they're sure to be selling them. There's even a market in Dublin. Just, you know, they're gone.
Through retail outlets, it may be offered for sale in the Ballyfermot and Clondalkin areas. If you hear of any garments like those shown here being offered for sale, give the Gardaí at Clondalkin a call.
2 white cast iron flower pots were stolen
They're very popular. They were like, in all the big houses, you'd find these things.
from the grounds of the Presentation Convent in Killarney on the night of Saturday the 27th of July. They are 3 feet high and each weighed 200.
So I mentioned earlier that like this Garda Patrol was always spoofed. So these are the unbelievables or the unbelievables. I remember this is so great. I'm hoping this doesn't get copywritten. These in our houses. And the funny thing was, like, it was actually good luck to break their, like, if it fell and its head broke off, that was actually good luck. And these are the old Irish sugar, is it? I can't remember. Sugar packets. By the way, that still happens. They still just park along the side of the road, like a big, like there's a local GAA pitch here, and they have got a car park, but it only holds so many, and then they just park up the road, like the main road. They just park up it and just abandon them and go to the match. Like they're in the ditch and everything. Like it's just crazy. The enactment, the Garda Patrol, they're actually acting it out.
They call it a high street. We had a pedestrian here. A pedestrian there, standing there who witnessed the whole.
That's a cigarette packet, Silk Cup Purple, before it has, you know, the warning stuff. So that's kind of a snapshot of my childhood. They were on the Late Show doing that. We'll just do one more clip. So this is from the RTE archives again, and it's about Aer Lingus, when they kind of first started, I think.
They'll provide an added boost to the business traffic on its transatlantic routes. Aer Lingus have spent £400,000 this year on improved catering and a further £1 million
Don't get them seats anymore.
in refurbishing aircraft. The new executive and first class areas are sheer luxury.
Sheer luxury.
This is the rather compact standard class. The price from Shannon to New York, £339.
Shannon to New York, 300. It's actually cheaper now. With inflation, you can get a flight from Dublin for like €150 on a good day. Like sometimes it's 200, sometimes it's €300. It's actually cheaper now, which is really good.
But it's all very different here in first class. So is the price. It costs £1,059 one way from Shannon to New York, but you get all the trimmings.
Champagne?
Thank you very much.
First class doesn't look that great, to be honest. First class doesn't look that great. And here's herself. And if you don't know, there's a lot of AI videos going around of herself, and you know, telling you to invest in cryptocurrency and this, how she made millions off of cryptocurrency and all of this. It's really funny. But this is how she like first started on the news, I guess.
Next few days. In the meantime, the first group of stranded holidaymakers are now back in Dublin as the Aer Lingus emergency flights plan gets into full
So there was an Aer Lingus strike.
swing. 6 people have died in separate accidents. In one, a 3-year-old died in a burning tent.
That's sad. I don't know why they're so far away from her. Like, you can barely see her. The rest of the screen is like RTE News, and like they're not showing any graphics or anything. And they should be closer up to her and stuff. Oh, they are.
Involved in the dispute for discussions. The meeting will be
Darth Vader helmet. Here.
held within the next day or so, as Liam Cahill reports.
Whoa.
The two ministers are calling in the parties for exploratory talks as soon as they can all be contacted. Obviously, this isn't easy.
Aer Lingus is always going on strike. Every couple of years they go on strike. It's so stupid.
Over holiday weekend. Before this announcement was made a short time
But the
ago,
good thing is it doesn't last very long. It only lasts like a day or a few days.
the chief executive of Aer Lingus, Mr. David Kennedy, wasn't optimistic about an early settlement. He described...
So I skipped that ahead. I just want to show you how they used to do the weather back in the day.
Good evening. Well, it was damp enough in the south and southwest today, but most parts of the country enjoyed dryish weather. Tomorrow, the prospects, I'm afraid, are rather more mixed.
Sharp dress, man.
This is the picture at noon. The ridge of high pressure, which had given fair weather to start with today, moving away eastwards, and these fronts coming in from the southwest. Generally, they're rather weak features, but during tonight, they'll be moving on north.
So, like, oh, they did zoom in on it then. So this is usually what they usually show for Ireland. There's no border thing now. The new ones now, they show the border. If you were watching BBC News, they would just cut out Ireland and just leave Northern Ireland and Britain, like Scotland, Wales and England, and leave Northern Ireland. And they would just cut out the rest of Ireland like it doesn't exist. It's nuts. I don't know why to do that. It's so silly. Like, we don't do it to them. Like, imagine if we caught out Northern Ireland and Britain. Like, they should do that as a skit. I don't know why they don't do it. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why BBC do that. And I don't think Sky News do it, but yeah, BBC used to do that. It's so silly. ITV as well, I think. Anyway, so like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the walk down memory lane. I hope you had some fun. I know I enjoyed myself. Trying to get to 600 subscribers. Not that many away. Hopefully, next goal will be 700, 1,000. Yes. And check out my channel. Check out my videos. I do every week. I do reviews of football cards, Panini football cards, and different kinds of football cards, and signed football cards, and autographs, and all that kind of stuff, fun stuff. And I do news reports every week too. So check out the shorts for that. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.